Hi, everyone. I'm Rylan. On today's weekly preview of the NFL season, we'll be talking about week 2 of the NFL season. We'll talk about all the games. Today, we have some special guests.
Max Frankel.
Cohen Maxwell.
And I'm Evan.
All right. So, we're going to talk about the first game. We're a little bit behind. We'll talk about the Bills and Dolphins
This
game.
game happened around probably 2 days, 3
Yeah,
days.
this
2
happened
days
on
ago.
Thursday, September 12th. Now, that game was pretty controversial about what happened. So, let's just
Wait, to start things off,
let's
just prayers up for Tua.
Yeah,
Yes.
prayers to Tua. I
Nothing.
personally think that he should retire.
Yeah, as a
Yes.
Dolphins fan, I think
Even
you
though I am a
I think he should
Ravens
stay
fan.
in the game. I think he should stay in the game.
All right, Cal.
All right, so I think it should be mandatory for more player after considering that he's already gotten 3 concussions and he hasn't even been in the
I think the
league for a
NFL
long
should-
time. I think the Guardian cap should be mandatory for more players.
But I don't think, but in that particular play, the Guardian cap wouldn't have done anything because
I
he
know.
purposely.
Okay, but the thing is though, I think
I think they
he should medically retire only for
They
the
should-
reason.
I think the NFL should,
There
medically
should be an
retire
injury
him.
limit. I
if
think.
if
Yeah.
he would have
Concussion
slid,
limit out
it
of
could have prevented the injury.
Yeah.
And
But he
didn't-
didn't. He
It was
chose
not-
not.
it was
to
not
slide.
DeMar
He-
Hamlin
yeah,
style
it was
at all.
not DeMar Hamlin. He didn't even hit DeMar Hamlin that hard.
Yeah.
I think he's
agree.
just. I think he was so
Also,
sensitive
I
now.
feel bad for Al Michaels for getting ripped upon about talking about DeMar Hamlin hurting Tua.
Not his
Isn't that
fault.
ironic?
It was
Okay,
not,
that was a good call. I
Yep.
would have said the
Okay,
very same thing.
let's talk about the game.
So yeah. Anyways,
So-
Tua
Overall, yeah.
played pretty bad.
He did. Yeah, he,
Three interceptions,
wasn't
one
his
pick
previous
six.
Let's
game.
just talk about Tua's
Don't
stat
mention the
line.
touchdown interference.
Tua was 17 for 25 for 145 yards, 1 touchdown, and 3 interceptions.
Not
he went
his
out
best.
around, I think, in the third quarter, and his backup, Skylar Thompson, did not play that good. He
Yeah.
played okay. Tyreek Hill was a no-show.
Yeah, I see only one bright spot in the offense.
I see,
and it's A-Chain.
A-Chain looked
Yeah,
really
He's
good.
the
did.
I think he's the future of this
I
team.
had A-Shot on fantasy, I'd like to say.
and let's move it over on the Bills
yeah.
side.
He didn't have to
Josh
do much.
Allen-
All
yeah.
they just
he didn't.
ran the
He
ball.
13
Yeah.
for 19, one
Yeah.
touchdown.
He did
not
what he had to
terrible.
do.
For the
Yeah.
first time in a long time, Josh Allen did not have to step up and win the game. The
No.
team
Yeah.
around him won the game.
James
Exactly.
It wasn't
three
the
touchdowns.
Josh Allen show.
Yep.
This was also James Cook's coming out party. You know, I'm happy to see it.
Two
especially as
touchdowns,
Coming out.
3 total touchdowns. Two
two
rushing, 1
rushing.
receiving.
11 carries.
But yeah, so
Pretty good game.
I think it was a good game. Tua did not play that good in. I hope he comes back, but I won't be surprised if after the season he might retire.
think
Okay,
it would
let's
be
move to the
better-
next game.
Let's move to the 1:00 game. Starting off with a bang. We have the 49ers versus the Vikings. We have Brock Purdy versus Sam Darnold, which is ironic because Sam Darnold was Brock Purdy's backup last year. Now they're up against each other. What do you guys think
it's
about
a
that game?
For a full circle moment. So I assume it's going to be really competitive from the jump.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Yeah, I think the Vikings are.
I think we got 2 good pocket passers.
yeah.
And I enjoy, the NFL right now is full of guys who just don't sit in the pocket, and
Yeah.
you've noticed that. You watch all these wide receivers go down. These running backs statistically are somewhat are getting a lot better, even though it's only been 1 week. But I think this game will be actually pretty high scoring because remember last year they played each other and that was a really good game with Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
So I expect the 49ers to beat them, but I don't think it would be a blowout.
I also think Brock
49ers
Purdy.
suck.
I think Brock
Probably one
Purdy
of the
is.
worst teams.
Yeah.
Worst teams in the NFL, the 49ers.
Yeah, Cal.
So I think Brock Purdy is he's really good at attacking against the blitz.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
I think
But
he'll, I
the
think he'll
only
have a
thing
really good game.
I think is bad about Purdy is he doesn't use his weapons to the fullest potential.
Yeah.
With such a stacked roster, I expect him
I
to
know.
have 300 to 400 yards a game.
He'd be
I-
better on the O-line.
I have a hot take. The 49ers, I think, are going to win, but just on a field goal with last seconds.
I agree.
And I think Sam Darnold is going to have one of the
I
best
think he's
games
gonna have a
ever.
good game. I think Jefferson's gonna ball out. I think
He's gonna torch
is
this
Addison
49ers
hurt?
defense.
Is Addison hurt?
Yeah,
I
and he's
think
also
he's
hurt, and he's also.
Yeah.
I think Justin
gonna get
Jefferson,
suspended
you
soon.
could put any corner in the NFL, he would beat them. There's very few
Yeah.
wide receivers ever.
And Aaron Jones looks pretty good.
Yeah,
He's-
so
Yeah.
I think the Vikings are actually very well put together.
Yeah,
Their
overall.
defense looked really well, and I think
they're
the
just
49ers
they're just not going to beat the 49ers.
and
Yeah.
It's too good.
RIP for McCaffrey fantasy owners.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
But I think
Absolute
Jordan
tragedy.
Mason is an absolute dog.
Johnson-
I also
And-
I have a prediction for that game. I believe Brandon Ayuk will have over 100 receiving yards that game.
I don't.
I think he's gonna have a great game.
I don't. I think that game
he's
will
gonna
be
have a
gr-
great game with the absence of Christian McCaffrey.
Why you have him in fantasy?
Well,
No, I don't. I'm just
Debo
confident.
is
Yeah.
gonna take some carries and he's gonna.
Yeah.
No, but I think
big one.
Jordan Mason is actually pretty good. I don't think he's
Yeah.
that great. I think their O-line is just generally that good.
Yeah.
But I think he's
I
good.
think he's good.
But I think
I
that
think he's pretty
game
good.
they're gonna. I think they're just gonna air it out because
No, I don't think.
you don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Tyreek
It
Hill should
depends
be a
on how-
defensive lineman.
Yeah.
It depends on how the
All
Vikings.
right. Let's move on. Let's talk
All right,
about
let's
the
keep this one
Seahawks.
short. 'cause
Let's
this
talk
is
about the
boring.
Seahawks and the Patriots. I'm actually surprised that the
Yeah,
Patriots
Kenneth Walker is out of this
beat
game.
the Bengals.
Yep.
So Zach
Um,
Charbonnet is RB1.
Jacoby Brissett will be playing for this game. I actually think, honestly, I think Brissett, if he plays the way he does, I think Drake May would just sit on the bench and just watch. I think
Yeah.
that is good for his development. I don't think
Absolutely.
we have another Tom Brady coming, but I'm just saying quarterbacks who sit on the bench
Tom
the
Brady
first
was not
year or
good.
for a couple games.
Tom Brady's
are
not a good
just-
quarterback.
Dude, you're from,
not even in
you're
the
from
league.
Massachusetts.
He's not even in the league.
Just because I love the Patriots when Tom Brady played does not mean he was a good quarterback. Because he sucked.
He just won.
He had the worst. He never caught the ball. He never
Yes, he
caught
did.
the ball.
Yes, he
No,
did.
he
Yes,
dropped
he did.
it.
In the Super Bowl, he
He
did.
dropped the ball.
All right. Let's
He'd be
let's
better on
get
the
back.
Okay,
defensive
okay.
line.
I
He'd be
think-
better on the
yeah.
defensive
I
line.
think
That's all I'm saying.
I think the Seahawks will win, but I actually think it'll be a close game. 'cause
I'm
I think
going-
New England's
No.
defense is actually.
I'm
not
going-
bad.
Also, a stat to know:
Yeah.
the Patriots have lost 3 straight regular season games to the Seahawks.
That's
So-
true.
I think
Yeah.
the tables are going to turn this time, and I'm
think
going
so?
Patriots.
Yeah, you know what? I'll
Low
go with you. I
scoring
think
win.
I agree. I think
Low
the Patriots
scoring.
will win.
Yep.
I think Brissett is good
Defensive
enough
battle.
to win. But yeah.
Two very decent.
Now let's talk
defenses.
about I think the worst game of the week.
Too many
Actually,
touchdown
no.
interferences.
This
Too
is
many.
tied.
This is the worst game of all
This is
time.
one of the worst games. I think this is the worst game. Actually, Giants Commanders.
Yeah,
Both these teams
not expecting
are
much.
really bad. Their defenses.
Daniel Jones has to
I think
step it
Daniel
up this
Jones.
game.
I mean, people are
Yeah,
saying
man, he's playing against a rookie quarterback.
Yeah,
I think they
I-
have to win this game.
Yeah,
But I would not be surprised if the Commanders win. They have such bizarre old talent on their team that they
Mm-hmm.
might win. I mean, Terry McLaurin is not old, but they have Austin Eckler, Zach Ertz, Bobby Wagner. Once very good players,
Yeah.
not in their prime anymore.
Yeah.
And I think the Giants, honestly, are just horrible. I think Daniel
agree.
Yeah, but
Jones.
the defense isn't
Their
bad. They have
defense
some
is-
good pieces.
yeah,
but
they have some-
I don't
they
think
have
they're
There's
bigger
some
good.
young.
Giants.
They have some
Yeah.
young
Some bigger
stars.
Giants.
I think
They
the
do.
Giants, but I don't think their defense is good enough to like stop a team from scoring a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They're definitely a break, not bend team.
I think a main point though is Jaden Daniels. He had I think he had over 10. He had over like
He had
10
a pretty
rushes
good
that game.
But I also
He had
think,
like 16.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
He needs to
But there's
throw
an
it more.
asterisk next to it because by the time Jaden Daniels started to pick up, that game was already over.
Yeah.
So you don't really get points for garbage time.
Yeah.
So I think this is gonna show because if he could play, the Giants aren't good, and if he could blow out, a rival or hopefully will be a rival of his, and I think the Giants aren't that good, and I think Daniel Jones should be released. Honestly,
I think
at the end of
Brian
the season.
Robinson will have a good game
Yeah.
too. He's a
Alright,
key
All right, let's
piece.
move on to
Go
another.
Giants. Giants
Key
winning.
piece.
Giants win that.
Giants.
Okay.
But let's move on to another
Second worst
really
game.
bad game. Chargers, Panthers.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think
don't
the
see
Chargers,
the Panthers winning a game.
the
this
Chargers
season, to
will
be
beat
honest.
them. I think pretty soundly. I think J.K. Dobbins will have another phenomenal game.
Yep.
And I think the
Chargers
Chargers
defense.
receiving core is absolutely horrible.
Chargers defense though didn't look too bad.
I also
week
see
one
Herbert
against the
regressing this
Raiders.
year, like majorly. I think he's
I
going to
think
get
the
hurt.
Panthers should stick to hockey.
Yeah.
Yes,
agree with
have
you
to
there.
agree with that.
But
Okay,
so
yeah.
let's just look
keep
at
it short.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
keep
yeah.
it short.
All right, let's-
Chargers win.
All right,
Next
let's,
game.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Let's talk about a very
There's nothing much to
entertaining
see.
game that I think will be very high scoring. Saints versus the Cowboys. Now, the Saints put up 47 points last week against the Panthers, and the Cowboys put up 33 against a really good Browns defense. So, what do we all think? It's also in Dallas, guys. So, what do we think?
Yeah,
High scoring
Cowboys.
game?
I think very high scoring game. I think
I agree.
over maybe at least over 35 points
Each?
in total the game.
No, that's
Oh.
not that much.
That's not that
You don't
much.
I'm.
It's like
It could be over.
that's not even 20
I
points
think it
each.
could be
Yeah.
over 55.
I'm going to say that game is going to go over 60 points.
I don't
total.
think it is though. Actually, I think
No, because I think
it's gonna be like 24 to 10.
Because I honestly think the Saints don't really have that good of a defense, and I don't think the Cowboys' defense
Yeah.
is. I think they're good, but I also think against a really good offense, they crumble.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Saints are a really good
And
offense.
Derek Carr.
But I think Derek Carr has something to prove this year.
he was
I think
he
so
was
too.
Is it a
injured.
very
He was
bad-
injured last
He
year.
hasn't. He
He's in a
didn't
bad
really have a
division.
shot to.
He's in a bad division where everyone in that division is just,
I don't think
no one-
Derek even knows where he is, really.
Yeah.
So I think the Cowboys will win, but I actually think that would be a very entertaining
Yep.
game. Now let's move on to a game that would have been really good up until last week. We have the Colts versus the Packers. We all know why this game won't be good is because there's no Jordan Love. So I
yep.
think this is going to be an easy Colts win.
Yeah,
But
it should be.
It should be.
Anthony
but I
Unless
would,
Richardson.
Malik Willis steps
unless
up.
Malik Willis plays good, and I actually think Anthony Richardson will. I hopefully he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, he really shouldn't. If I was Anthony Richardson,
He just runs.
I would
too
take this
big
game
on.
very careful because there's no starting quarterback
Well,
on the
I
other
mean,
side.
it's still.
I think Jordan Love should
regular
just
season
heal,
game.
bro. Just
I understand.
I think so, too.
But I think what he should do is because he's not going up against a really good quarterback, so against a backup, he should just put it
It's
in the
still
air.
a good team though.
Yeah.
But again, Malik Willis is not a good quarterback. So
No.
if he could show his arm and rest getting hurt, because remember last year
The name
he got
Malik-
hurt in week 2, only made it to week 2.
I mean, with the name Malik, you can't really be a good quarterback, honestly.
yeah. He's from the Titans.
Not a bad.
But I
team.
think the Colts will do good, and everyone here is wondering where's Jonathan Taylor.
exactly.
So
He might show up this
He
week.
might show up. He might not. He might
It's up
pull.
in the air,
He might pull
you know?
Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs.
GTD. Game
So yeah.
time decision.
All right, let's move on to a game which should be good, but is actually not that good. We have the Browns and the Jags. I don't know what's going on with either one of these teams. Both these teams have a pretty good offense and also a really good defense. But for some odd reason, now I think that the Browns, I think they're gonna win.
Last week they were a no-show
I agree.
completely in offense.
With,
They were-
with a team that loaded,
I
you
know. I was surprised.
I don't think they're loaded.
But
I
I
don't
think
think
their
they're
offense
loaded.
is pretty
weapons.
good.
All they have
Yeah.
is Amari Cooper.
Yeah, but they have Jerry Jeudy. They have
Well,
David Njoku, who's actually I think pretty
I think
good.
he's out this game. Is he? Yeah.
He might be
yeah.
out. I'm not sure. I think Jerome Ford is not that good.
Yeah.
And is
I think Jerome Ford is strictly a backup.
I agree. Is Kareem Hunt on that team? Do we know that?
Is he?
I'm not actually sure.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going on with the Jags. Okay, they should have won that game.
Trevor Lawrence
I
has
mean-
been absolutely.
I mean, he's
he's
ETN
been
didn't
I don't really
underperforming.
understand because he has everything.
He has everything he needs
Yeah.
as a
He
quarterback.
has pretty good running backs. His defense is actually really good.
I know. For
They-
a top pick,
I mean, he has done
young.
next to nothing. Yes, he has a playoff win, but that's not
But that-
saying
yeah.
much, right? In that playoff win, he threw 4 picks in the first half. Okay,
Exactly.
you don't get points for throwing 4 picks. Yes, they came back from 27-0, but that is not a good way to start. And then the next game, he threw, I think, another 2 picks. So 6 picks in 2 playoff games.
not
Not
what
that
you want
good.
your star
But-
promising quarterback.
Yeah,
to
so
do.
I think that game, it might actually be high scoring.
Yeah.
Just for some
Might get a
odd
little
reason,
surprise.
I can see it. But I think, what do we all think? I think the Browns.
I
will
think
win.
Jerry Jeudy will have a good
I
game.
think the Browns will win.
I think
Honestly,
he'll have a good game.
Browns.
let's move on to another game which could be interesting. We have the Jets and the Titans. Now, this is the second game for Aaron Rodgers coming back.
Yeah, they didn't look too good.
They
Yeah,
did not
Aaron-
look too
yeah.
good, and honestly, I thought Brees Hall was gonna have an absolutely amazing.
He was
game.
on pace
Yeah.
for that when he
But
scored
he,
his first
I was
touchdown,
getting
and then-
scared, and then he just kind of disappeared. They
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
shut him down. Believe it or not, Alan Lazard led the team in receiving yards and touchdowns. Now, don't expect the Alan Lazard
The
experience.
master class.
Yeah, he's old.
Yeah.
He's like.
Yeah, they're gonna get the ball to Garrett
I think.
this game.
Yeah, I think.
And when is Mike Williams coming back?
I think the Jets are gonna control this game and
Yeah, I
just
think
win
they're gonna
easily.
Yeah.
they're gonna absolutely rattle Will Levis.
Will Levis.
And,
but the Titans have a weird team if
They
you think
do.
about it. They have Tyler Boyd, they have Tony Pollard,
I
and they
know.
have
Obviously, with the absence of Derrick Henry, it's a completely
but I
different
think
team.
Tony Pollard is I think he's pretty
yeah.
good.
Well, they also they
yeah,
split
it's-
him with Ty J. Spears also.
Yeah. I think the Jets are gonna win, but
Yeah.
I
Jets
think-
are gonna win, but they're gonna look like a bad team. After this game.
yeah.
It's up in
Hopefully
the air.
Rodgers can look better than he did.
Yeah, and hopefully Sauce Gardner is able to lock down his
Yeah.
matchups.
Hopkins.
So-
All right, let's move on to one of the last 1:00 games. Is the Tampa
This
Bay
is my favorite game this week.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Lions.
This is great in the playoffs.
This is
though.
Absolutely.
an NFC divisional round rematch in Detroit. Now, I actually think the Buccaneers are going to be quite good this year because I think Baker Mayfield has something to prove this year. He got a contract. He's on his 4th team, and I think he's here to stay. And I think Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, and they have other wide receivers. I don't know them off the top of my head, but I think they're good enough to make him look really good. And I actually think Baker Mayfield is pretty good. And the run game is, the same as Bucks' run game as always.
Exactly.
So,
And I think Amon-Ra St. Brown will have a better game considering he did not have a big
Jamison Williams.
So,
I think
He did not
Jamison
play
Williams is
good. I
a
know.
one-hit wonder, in my opinion. I don't know.
I think Jameson, what makes it interesting about Jameson Williams, he reminds me of Jacoby Jones. Well, all they do is just throw it to him deep, and he only gets 1 to 2 receptions deep. And he's also pretty injury prone.
Yeah.
He gets hurt a lot for a guy who only gets tops 3 receptions in 4
He
targets.
did have
a
a
game.
great game last
He had a
week,
great
though.
game.
He had, I think, 25 fantasy points because I played
and
against
he had
him.
110 yards and a touchdown. I'm very happy for him. I think the running backs are a great two-headed monster.
Great matchup, yeah.
I mean, Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery, a 1-2 punch.
That's as good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
best duo in the league. Probably.
Yeah, I 100% agree. So we all thinking the Lions are going to win this game.
I think the Lions will win this
But
game.
I would not be surprised
I think
if
it's
the
up in the
Bucks
air.
No, I'm
will
going-
win.
It's up
I'm
in
going
the air for this
Buccaneers.
game.
Yeah, you know what? I'll join you.
I think
I'll
it's
go
up in the
Bucks.
air.
I'll go Bucks.
So-
And the Bucks defense look pretty good.
Open for judgment.
Yeah.
On this game.
All right, let's move on to the Raiders and the Ravens. As a Ravens fan, I already know who's going to win this game. But if you really think about it,
As a Lamar Jackson
Yes,
fan,
as a
Yes.
Lamar Jackson enthusiast.
yes. But the Raiders did not look good. Okay, everyone
Yeah.
thought they were going to be really good. They thought their defense was going to be good. And let's just look at the stats. J.K. Dobbins, who has played 6 games in 3 years.
What?
J.K. Dobbins on the Chargers last week ran for 135 yards and 10 carries. 10 carries for a guy who's only played in 6 games on the Raiders defense. That is not good. Okay? That is really not good. They let the Chargers with a offense that quite frankly is not good look elite. Devontae Adams, where? He's disappeared. I don't know where he's went. Brock Bowers, I feel bad that he's on that team.
Yeah, he looked pretty good though.
He did look pretty good, and I
He
don't
led
know.
the team in receptions.
I don't know Zamir White.
Yeah,
right?
he's gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who took the carries from him?
I'm not
Matt
sure.
Alexander
Yeah,
Madison.
Alexander Madison, who scored.
Yeah, surprising.
I hope the Ravens just go back to the run because what the Chargers showed to the Raiders is they can run that ball.
The Ravens
run
are
the
gonna
ball.
pound it all over their face.
And
I hope we.
I
They're
think
gonna penetrate the D.
Yeah. And I think that
penetrate
Lamar
all holes.
Lamar Henry 1-2 punch
Lamar's
is going to be
gonna find
unstoppable.
Lamar, yeah.
He's gonna find the gaping hole.
Who knows? Maybe
Yes.
maybe Max Crosby will have a good game. So
I don't know because the Ravens do actually have sometimes a pretty good offensive
They do
line.
have a good
like
line.
when they get going, they are the best in
Yeah.
the league. But it takes a minute, and we had we had
They
5
just have
illegal.
a lot of bad moments.
Yes,
Like,
if
big
they
games.
start off good, which I hope they will, and I also don't think Gardner Minshew is all that good. Because when I think in his first or second year on the
I mean,
Jags,
he's better than Daniel Jones. He's better than.
he's not.
but
so-
he's not. I think he is good enough. I don't even think he's really good enough to start. I think he's good enough to start
I mean,
for
who
a
else?
couple
I
games.
think.
Who
I think
else is
Aiden
gonna-
O'Connell should start over him.
I think Gardner Minshew is someone you bring in when your quarterback is hurt, not when you need a quarterback.
I think that. I don't think that's a bad
know?
take.
I think he's. I don't think he should be a starter. I think he just should be a backup. You know?
Okay. We're all
Sec-
going.
second-
So we're all
Alright, let's-
going Ravens.
Yeah,
here.
we're all going
Ravens.
Ravens. Let's move on to the 4:00 games. The Rams versus Cardinals. This also could be an interesting game.
I love Kyron Williams this week.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I feel bad for Marvin Harrison. Hopefully,
I
hopefully
hope
that game doesn't
hopefully he
mean
picks it up.
anything.
Hopefully he just picks it up. Bad's first.
I mean,
it's just
game.
Kyler just
Welcome
made
to
bad
the
reads.
NFL
Yeah,
moment.
it happens. You know, not all players
Obviously, when your promising receiver has one reception.
for 4 yards.
Yeah, exactly.
But I
It's
don't think
not-
they should lose hope. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just
He
one game.
should have had the
Still early.
touchdown.
Now
on
I
the
am
last
wondering
play.
how they scored that much points, 28 points. You know,
Impressive.
without their
I-
number one wide
that
receiver.
speaks numbers.
And DJ Dallas had the first ever kick return touchdown, so that's something. But
the season.
of the season, which I think there would be more, and I think the Rams will win. But I think it would be very close, and yeah, I think the Rams will win. What do you guys think?
I think the Rams
Yeah,
win
Rams.
by maybe under 10.
Yeah.
Under-
Rams.
Yeah, I think it would be.
closest
I think
game.
it'll be a one-score game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going Rams. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's move to another game. Let's talk about the Bengals and the Chiefs. Now, let me just get this off my chest. I don't think the Bengals are quite that good, especially in the beginning of the season. Joe Burrow looked horrible. Okay,
He
Well,
plays good
he-
against the Chiefs.
but
so.
but statistically, he is absolutely horrible in the beginning of the season.
Yep.
He's the only quarterback with
he,
a winning
like,
record
I've
against
never-
Patrick Mahomes. Actually,
That is true. But I think that's going to change. They lost to the Chiefs won last year. I don't understand why can't Burrow just figure it out in the regular season.
I
For a
agree.
guy who is
Who is so experienced.
who at one point had 3 elite wide receivers
I know.
and an elite running back. The best record I think they mustered was like 11 wins. Mm-hmm. Right, 11
Under-
wins.
but
yeah.
they made the Super Bowl.
They-
so.
Yeah, they
They
did.
did.
On like a crazy
It
run.
was like a Cinderella.
Yeah, it was a
run
similar. No, I
almost.
think that was the next year when they went 11-5. I'm pretty sure that season they went like 9-8.
But expect them to pick things up
Yeah,
a little bit this week.
But they
always
play in a
start
very
off slow.
hard division, so they cannot drop games. And the Chiefs look really good.
I
Their
think the
offense-
Chiefs' main piece this game, one of the main pieces will be Pacheco.
Pacheco.
Isaiah Pacheco.
Pacheco, yeah.
You know what? I don't think so. I think Rashid Rice is gonna just. I think he's gonna have an absolutely stellar season. And honestly, I think Tyreek Hill is hitting himself every day that he's on the Dolphins. Because in the 2 years he has left that team, they've won 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was the problem this whole
the
time.
Dolphins have made the playoffs every year he's been there, and they've lost in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
And
And obviously, you see what they're doing now.
Yeah.
So, and they're looking for the
Yeah,
three-peat.
not Dolphins fan. Their future
Yeah.
is not very good.
yeah,
Not very,
so,
especially with Tyreek wanting to retire.
and I think the
Yeah,
Chiefs-
we went all in.
I think the
So-
Chiefs are rebuilding from what they did a couple years ago when they got a bunch of
But they're
fast,
still-
speedy wide receivers.
And they're still in the win now mode. Though.
Yeah, they are. I think Travis
Yeah.
Kelce, even though
Like they're always rebuilding, but they're
Yeah,
always.
but they're
being
always-
yeah, the
just
defense
so
has
good.
now has become a lot better. It used
Yeah.
to not be good at all. Last year showed that they could win with a
And
horrible roster.
even with Patrick Mahomes not playing like Patrick Mahomes.
I mean,
he's-
I also think I could see a regression from Kelce. I think.
well, yeah,
what we might
he's getting
see.
in the low 30s.
I know. I'm pretty sure
He's
going-
35.
He's 35.
Oh, really?
That's
He's
pretty
35.
old.
I thought
I
he
could
was
see.
younger.
Honestly, I could see Kelsey getting slightly phased out only because they have such a high-powered offense that I just don't think he's going to
It's
catch
too
up on.
fast for him for tight ends.
I mean,
Yeah.
for a 35-year-old, especially playing a receiving position,
How
that's
much game
old.
does he have left?
I mean, not
So-
much, and especially
Yeah.
his
he's
girlfriend.
had a good career.
All right,
though.
let's
Yeah.
move on to a
Oh, yeah,
pretty
we're
bad
going,
game.
We're going Chiefs here.
Yeah, let's go
Chiefs,
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Steelers, Broncos. I mean, I don't
have
like
much to say
either.
about that, yeah.
As a Ravens fan and just as a general football fan, I hate the Steelers brand of football. It is very boring. They don't play.
I mean, they win.
They win. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Who's
I
the
don't.
head-
I hate Bo Nix. He throws a lot of interceptions. Not
Yeah.
a lot of checkdowns.
Yeah.
But I think the Steelers.
Justin Fields is starting to
Steelers
score.
have.
Yeah, I think
I don't really understand what their running back issue is. Like, is it Najee? Is it Jalen Warren? Is it Cordero Patterson?
Yeah.
Is it? I mean, Justin Fields. They have Russell. They have
Yeah.
5 guys on that offense. You know, Russell Wilson is 3rd all time, and now he's 4th all time in rushing yards.
Lamar
Yeah.
just surpassed.
I mean, oh yeah, let's talk about that for a quick second. At the end of the season, if Lamar gets 1,000 yards, he'll get number 1 all time in rushing.
wow.
Number 1 is
and
Michael
he's just
Vick.
in his
He's-
prime, right?
Yeah,
he's-
Michael Vick
he's
played like
just getting his
15
prime.
seasons, and
I
Lamar's
know.
going to do this in his 7th season, and in that time he's missed like 18 games. So yeah. Anywho, let's move back to that game. I think the Steelers will win, and I think it'll be a
I think
very
Steelers will
boring
win.
game of football because
I-
I don't
yeah.
think either one of those teams play a very entertaining.
Yeah,
I don't
Steelers.
Style
yeah,
football.
I'd be surprised if either of them scored.
All right,
above,
guys,
20.
let's look at this.
Oh,
The
I
first
love this
overall
game.
pick
Bears,
versus
ooh.
second overall pick from last
Yeah.
year. So, were we impressed from Caleb Williams' debut?
Absolutely not.
No.
Actually,
not really.
their defense scored more than Caleb
Yeah.
Williams.
Yeah, if anything, underwhelmed.
Which
would be.
actually the Bears have
I mean,
done
they
that
won
a
a
couple
game.
of times.
That's
Yeah,
the
they won
first
a game.
time
They
the
did
first
They
win.
won their game.
They
Yeah,
did win.
first
Yes,
overall pick.
yes, they
But
won.
Keep
Caleb
up
Williams,
Yeah.
he didn't perform how we expected
Yeah,
him to.
but I think the Texans were stop them because I don't think the Bears actually have a good
Yeah, it's
defense.
just, I mean, it's just a little accuracy issues. If he would have hit,
I
his
think
targets
Caleb
and
Williams.
Keenan on the one long pass, then that would have.
I think what Caleb Williams needs to learn is he needs to let go of the ball
he
quicker.
needs to set his feet. Also,
Yeah.
If he's
I
starting
think
off fast.
he can't. I think he's trying too much, and he doesn't have to. His offense is there. Okay, he doesn't have to force balls. He doesn't have to do any of that. Right, we didn't see that much, but I think that's what he's trying to do. I think the Texans, the only way the Texans will lose this game or any game is by their offense, by them trying too much. So I think the Texans will win, but I think it'll be an entertaining game. This is in Houston at 8:00.
And I'm pretty sure is
tonight,
Keenan Allen
tomorrow
playing
night.
or no?
I think he is.
Okay.
He's getting up in age. I could see a major regression.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not him that's regressing. It's kind of his quarterback.
So let's talk about the last game of the week on Monday night at 8:15 on September 16th. We have the Falcons versus the Eagles. Now, again, are we impressed from Kirk Cousins' debut? No. Okay. Now, we did see a rare sighting of Kyle Pitts in the end zone. You know, that's like seeing a unicorn.
Yeah.
Once
every blue moon.
A guy who scored 6 touchdowns in 3 years. Seeing a touchdown in week 1 is promising. I bet all fantasy owners were like, this was our year.
Battle of the running backs.
But yes, I agree. I think Saquon Barkley is out of his mind, and hopefully he'll be like that again. But the Eagles,
who will have the better O-line
sleeper
this game?
MVP season incoming.
Maybe.
But I believe in the Falcons. I think they have a pretty good offense, and all Kirk Cousins has to do is just not turn the ball over.
Yep,
and just throw it to his wide receivers.
I like their
do his
defense.
part.
Yeah, their defense is upgraded. I
think
think the Eagles' defense is actually pretty bad, to tell you the truth. I don't think it's quite that good. They used to be good.
Yeah.
I don't think they're quite that good anymore. But I think it will be very interesting. It's going to be in prime time.
Yeah, this could. I feel like the Falcons could win this game, but
I agree.
I don't know. This is tough. I got to think of it.
I think the Eagles will win. I think it'll be low scoring. Hopefully Hurts doesn't play like he did last week in the beginning of the game.
That would be abysmal.
He played bad. I mean, like his first couple of drives, he threw.
No, he did terrible. He was the reason I lost.
He threw a pick and a fumble. But I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we seeing the effect of Jason Kelsey a little bit? That he's not there. Yes.
Yeah.
The tush push was virtually non-existent. In fact, they were on the goal line with Saquon Barkley. They did the tush push, and they didn't get it.
Yeah.
They went for a field goal.
I think Jalen Hurts is happy that his center isn't throwing the ball as hard at him. So, you know.
So we all gonna go with the Eagles.
Not super confident.
You know what?
Eagles.
I'm gonna go with the Eagles.
Not convinced.
So
next week is a doozy.
So next week is okay. So they get
Eagles win
an extra. Yeah. So again, extra
close
preview.
game though.
Yeah. So they get an extra preview of next week. These are the first 2 games y'all are all gonna see.
Thursday night is about to be
Patriots versus the Jets.
Movie.
Jacoby Brissett
Absolute movie.
against Aaron Rodgers, and you have Daniel Jones versus Deshaun Watson. So look out, guys. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
no problem.
course.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having
And
us. I appreciate it.
let's all say what do you think the favorite game is? What do you think the best
Favorite game?
Yeah, favorite game.
Favorite
Game in the high scoring game we think
Favorite
of.
game.
And best overall player too.
Favorite game. Lions and Bucks for me.
Yeah.
I
I can
think
see
that'll
that.
be an electric game.
I agree.
Favorite game for me.
You know what? I could see 49ers Vikings being
I think
interesting.
so too,
I could see that.
Yeah.
What do
Top
you
defense.
I really like the Bears and Texans, but I don't think it's gonna be that much. competition
also,
for-
what do we think? Who's gonna have the best statistical game?
Best
Fantasy wise and
statistical game.
yeah.
Joe
Non-quarterback.
Joe Mixon, for the
Non-quarterback.
Texans.
Non-quarterback.
Non-quarterback.
or Mike Evans.
You know what? I could see Mike Evans popping off. I think he's
yeah.
such a sleeper. Everyone always sleeps
I know.
on Mike Evans.
He's
so elite. He's had 10 straight 1,000-yard receiving season.
And yet
I mean,
he's
every
still
season he's been
overrated.
elite.
I mean, that is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So
That is Hall of Fame.
that
worthy.
is our
Definitely.
weekly review
Yep.
of the NFL season of Week 3.
Yep.
Thank you guys for
See you
coming
guys
on.
later.